Hello, everyone. So, a few weeks ago, God began to put a burden on my heart that He wanted to write a love letter to the LGBT plus community. So, in light of this being Pride Month, I want to go ahead and share this letter from Jesus to those in the LGBT community. Jesus began, I know many of you will pass this message and ignore it because you don't want to hear what I have to say, because you think you've heard it all before, and you can't fathom how I could ever write a love letter to you because of what my word says about the way you live and what many have said through slander towards you in my name. But here I am, and I'm here to tell you that I love you. Yes, I love you so much. Your lifestyle choices does not make me love you any less, contrary to what you have heard from so many. I know the questions you scream to me, and I want to address some of those in this letter to you. First, I knew what you would become before I formed you, and I knew that you would come to this point. No, it was never my plan for you to choose this path, as you may have heard. I allow you free will to choose how to live your life out of respect for you. I apologize for those who have come in my name that did not represent me very well and has caused the hate that you have for me deep in your heart. But your hate towards me is also because you know that I don't accept the lifestyle you live. Does a father and mother always accept the path that their children have chosen, even though they brought them up a certain way? No. Does that mean the father and mother should stop loving their children and stop wanting them to find the correct path? No. It's the same with me. I wanted you to be shown the truth, but never in a way to make you believe that I have a deep disdain for you. It's completely different than what you've been led to believe. There's a structure and order to everything that I've created, and it was all to help my children be perfected and to draw closer to me. My plan and structure for your life was for you to experience love in the purest form, and that is through drawing closer to me. There are many scriptures that speak of my children being my bride and I their bridegroom. This is where the institution of marriage comes from that I created. If you look closely, everything that was created was meant to be a physical example of who I am and how I want to be with you in relationship. For example, the earth rotating around the sun represents my desire for you to be close to me and for your life to be totally surrounded around growing in love with me. Only through relationship with me can you experience true life. The sun setting each night shows what happens when my light isn't surrounding you. Darkness. I give you this representation each night to show you that without me, you will be in total darkness. The same is for marriage. I created marriage to be between a man and a woman because they are two pieces that fit together. Just as Eve was created from Adam's rib, you were created from pieces of my body. This is what I physically display through marriages on earth, and through those marriages, you become one with your missing piece. When you become one with your missing piece, you produce seeds that continue to produce a harvest. Without the correct pieces coming together to produce seeds, there is no harvest that will grow. And without a harvest, your spirit will slowly die because it isn't growing and flourishing the way I intended when I created you. I want you to know that you are the most precious treasures to me, and you still are my children, even though you've chosen to forge a different path for your life. To your question of, if I wasn't meant to be this way, why was I feeling these urges at such a young age? To simply put it, the presence of sin was the cause of this. When I created and formed you in your mother's womb, I did not give you these desires and urges, because everything that comes from me is made pure and holy. When I allowed you to enter this world, the thick atmosphere of sin permeated your body and your subconscious thinking to lead you to believe that these desires were real. It was also open doors from your parents and your bloodline that caused these desires to enter your heart. As you grew, I tried to send people to you that would explain to you the truth of my intentions for your life, but fear, rejection, and disgust entered the hearts of those that were meant to guide you down the right path through my spirit. Because of the rejection you experienced throughout your life, those who followed my leading correctly that were sent to you could not help you see the truth because you already believed wholeheartedly that I made you to be that way. I know that many of you have experienced abuse, and that led you to living this lifestyle. And I'm so sorry that you were abused in that way. You may ask why I allowed it to happen, but it's also because of sin and free will that so many bad things happen to my children, and I do not always interfere. So many people allow circumstances and their own experiences to make them lash out and attack others instead of coming to me to heal the broken pieces of their hearts. Many act out of their pain and brokenheartedness. I understand that all of this may not make sense to you now, but the biggest thing I hope you understand is that everything has a cause and a beginning. Nothing happens at random, including the way you are right now, and I understand you more than anyone else does because I created you. I know that many of you have felt convicted about the way you're living because you know the truth, but you have bonded so tightly to your flesh that it's extremely hard to pry you away. I've spoken to so many of you about this, and I've never come to you harshly. Understand that if anyone comes to you in a harsh way to explain this truth to you, they are not doing so through my spirit, but through the flesh. Even though they are speaking truth, I've never wanted them to berate you in sharing the truth. My way is primarily one of love, even though there is still a judgment. Judgment is only delivered to those who know the truth, but decide to live contrary to that. My mercy is given to those who do not know the truth and have not been exposed to it. Remember this and use this to truly stop and examine your life and where you fall. It's not too late for you, my children. My love for you is one that will never die, and that is why I've allowed you to live the way you are now. I will never force myself on you, but I want you to understand the extent of my love for you by sharing with you the truth. I understand that some may reject this, but my love for you will always come first because I care about your soul, even if you may not be concerned about the state of it. There is so much you don't realize about what will happen if you're ripped away from me for all eternity, and I tell you, it's nothing you want to experience. I offer this invitation into my heart to you because I deeply love you and I don't want to be separated from you for eternity. Please respond, my loves. And that was the end of the letter from Jesus to those of you who are in the LGBT community. And I won't say very much because Jesus spoke for himself, so I don't have much commentary for this one. But I pray that you would accept this with an open heart. You know, even if you don't agree, even if you may be hurt, I pray that you hear God's heart for you, that you see that he loves you. You know, so if you've been told that he doesn't, that's a lie. It's not true. But he loves you, but that doesn't mean that he accepts the way you live. You know, so you have to understand that there's a difference. You can love someone and not agree with the way they're living. And that's really what it's about. So I pray that you would take this to heart. I pray that this will move you or convict you to seek God for yourself and see what he says to you. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless you.